Are you worried about losing your job, the money, the benefits, the social connections? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you 3 easy ways on how you can become irreplaceable at your job so you can have peace of mind and security. Tip number 1, master the fundamentals. Now, I know this tip is going to sound super obvious to most of you, but just because it sounds obvious doesn't mean it is obvious, or doesn't mean a lot of people are doing it. We can't build a house on a shaky foundation. You gotta walk before you can run, yada yada, you know the sayings. But this is super important. You can't expect to specialize or optimize anything if you haven't first mastered what the fundamentals are. Along with that, showing up on time, being reliable, which I guess are fundamental to your job. If you're reliable, consistent, everyone knows when you're going to be there, you keep a nice, calm, even mood, you don't blow up on anybody for no reason, you don't mess up the small stuff, you're just a master at the fundamentals. This is the key base that we can then take the next 2 tips and build off of. Like I said, I know it sounds obvious, but you have to master the fundamentals. Tip number 2. Become the problem solver, not the problem creator. We can't expect to understand how to sniff out a problem, create a good solution that's actually going to work in a timely manner if we don't first master the fundamentals. That's why that one came first. Now, this is showing you that we're going to optimize on different things, but first we got to master the fundamentals, or else we just can't fully comprehend a problem before it becomes a crisis. So what do I mean by become a problem solver, not the problem creator? Exactly that. You know how many times there's something small that will happen and we'll just kick the can down the road because whatever, it's so small, I'm not even going to deal with it. And then in 2 months or whatever, it becomes a huge issue, blows up way more than it should have, when we could have just squashed it 2 months ago. You know what I mean? Take the afternoon, take the 5 minutes, whatever it is to squash it. If you can sniff out problems immediately and get rid of them, that's going to make you way more valuable, because higher ups are going to see that, this guy's taking care of the problem, or this lady or whatever, taking care of the issues. If I get rid of them, there's no buffer in between the manager and the issue. Now the issue goes straight to the manager, or the manager doesn't see the issue in time because they're not as involved, then it blows up, yada yada. You guys know what I mean. So you being the problem solver creates a buffer between the manager and the issue, so they don't want to get rid of you to deal with more issues. Quite simple. The other way that you can be of value in this situation is if there is a problem, not wallowing and being like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened to me. Getting over it as soon as humanly possible, and then dealing with the issue. The problem happened, it's in the past, we can't change it. Now granted, some problems take more time to get over than others, but besides the fact, if you can get over it faster than most and start working on a solution, that is going to make you super valuable, because most people just want to, complain. So if you don't do that, you'll look better, i.e. become irreplaceable, get promotions. That makes sense. Tip number 3, specialize in an aspect of your field. Now, this is a trade channel, so the examples I'm going to give for my points in this are going to be trade related, but just take them and flip them to whatever field you're in. I'm sure you guys are smart enough to do that. A lot of these tips are obvious, but sometimes it just helps hearing somebody say it and you're like, oh yeah, stupid. So that's kind of why I'm making this video. Anyway, so the example that I'm going to give is most plumbers, which is obviously what I am, don't know how to, at least in Massachusetts where I'm at, don't know how to work on wells or water filtration. And I'm not talking like some little cartridge filter and calling that filtered water. I'm talking actually testing the water, installing something that alters the chemistry of the water to make it right again, whatever the issue was. Especially wells in my area, there's quite a few of them. So the fact that a lot of guys don't work on it is kind of insane to me, because it's really not even that hard. But that's besides the point. I just saw an opportunity and saw a niche inside of the same, like it's still all pipe and stuff like that. So it's not anything crazy, but it was a niche that a lot of guys don't know, that if I become specialized in, it makes me more desirable. It makes me more irreplaceable. In this instance, it could also open up a new revenue stream for the company. Because if we're just doing normal plumbing and all of a sudden I know how to do wells, now we can advertise and do wells and advertise and do real water filtration. You get the idea. That won't be applicable to everyone, but the ones that it is applicable to, it makes you even more desirable. Because now, if they fire you, now they got to find a guy to replace you on an already specialized skill. And on the off chance, if you do get fired, it makes you way more desirable to get rehired somewhere else because now you also still have this specialized skill. The other good thing is, I bet 90%, call it, that's just a made up number, but that's just what I'm going to assume. 90% of bosses, if there's some sort of schooling for you to learn a skill to make yourself more valuable at the company, I bet you anything they would pay for that schooling. Especially if it earns them more money. Because they're like, all right, $2,000, whatever. He goes, takes his class. Now I got a whole different style job I can sell. Like, that's huge. And like I said, it benefits both the company and you safeguard yourself from, layoffs, whatever. You're more desirable. Because if anybody, say I'm just a normal plumber, and all I do is just, hey, go do this. And all I do is just put pipe together. I mean, most people can do that. You know what I mean? So the skill that I have isn't skilled enough to where somebody could just, like, it doesn't have to be me doing it. You know what I mean? But if you specialize in something, then it kind of does have to be you or a select other few. You'd probably get a raise because now you're more specialized. There's so many different ways that you could go with this. But if you can specialize in something in your field that makes your skill more valuable to the company, you're going to be more irreplaceable or desirable if you do get fired. That's kind of the crux of it. It's super obvious, but a lot of people aren't going to take the initiative, which I think is why the boss would pay for it, because they're like, oh my God, this guy actually wants to learn and do better. It's crazy. Most people are just lazy, to be straight out. So if you show initiative and want to specialize, it's going to work and pay dividends for you. I promise. All right, so those are the 3 tips. If you put those 3 tips into action, I bet you anything that you are going to become even more irreplaceable than you already are. But if you like this video, make sure to leave a like on it. If you agreed, disagreed with any of the tips, think of things I should add, be sure to let me know down in the comments. Any video ideas, anything you want to see, let me know. This video will, this channel is going to be more, trade based, but I can do stuff like this to where I can relate it and examples to a trade, but it kind of helps more people, if that makes sense. But yeah, anyways, it has been Dylan. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.